Early fall is a great time to camp in northwest Arkansas. In this video, I'm going to ride the Slaughter Pen Trail System, which is a unique urban mountain bike experience located right in the middle of Bentonville. But first, I'm camped at the Kohler Preserve, and I'd like to begin by doing a quick tree survey, starting off with one of my favorite understory shrubs, spicebush. At this time of year, the laurel-shaped leaves and red fruits distinguish this plant. As you might guess, spicebush gets its common name from the aroma it gives off. Believe me, you walk through a thicket and breathe in the air, it is bliss. This tree has been raining hickory nuts on my tent all week. This is the bitternut hickory, and it is very common throughout the eastern U.S. Its nuts are relatively small and have these distinctive winged sutures on them. Its bark is tight and it has flat, narrow, interlacing ridges. As its common name implies, the nuts taste worse than other hickories, and therefore they tend to be low preference among wildlife. Another very common tree in the eastern U.S. is one that the insects love, as we can see by all these half-eaten leaves. Hackberry leaves are coarsely toothed and alternate, and young trees like this one have a very distinctive warty bark. This tree's berries are edible, and they have a nice flavor if you pick them at the right time. Yet another ubiquitous tree in the eastern U.S. is the black walnut, and, lucky for my tent, it has already dropped most of its giant fruits. Walnuts are in the same plant family as hickories, and they also have compound leaves, but the leaflets are smaller and more numerous than on hickories. This tree has a rough bark with thick interlacing ridges. There are several oak and chestnut trees that produce leaves in a sawtooth pattern, but the only one that naturally occurs in Benton County is the chinkapin oak. Chinkapins have a light-colored bark with squarish scales that run the entire length of the tree. They also have the sweetest acorns of all the oaks, and so they are a wildlife favorite. Here is another very common tree which can be distinguished by its spongy bark, the American elm. Unlike some other elms, the bark on American elm is also layered in two different color tones. The leaves on elms are toothed and have a prominent midrib, and they often have a sandpapery texture to them. Last up is an impressive type of oak that I am studying for the first time. Its bristle-tipped leaves give it away as a member of the red oak group, but its lobes are noticeably more broad than other red oaks I'm familiar with. This is Shumard oak. It has average-sized acorns with caps that cover about a quarter of the nut and have tightly packed scales. Its bark resembles that of northern red oak, except the characteristic ski tracks are less prominent and less continuous. Alright, so there's 3 phases to the slaughter pen. I am parked right down here. I'm going to rely on this Razorback Greenway. It seems to get you quickly wherever you want to go. And then I'm just going to target some of these blue trails. First thing I'm going to do is visit the Compton Gardens to admire a few more plants. Then I'll be making my way north and riding the trails in the Phase 1 and 2 sections. Compton Gardens has some beautiful displays of Ozark horticulture. I've never seen fruits that have a pinkish purple candy color quite like this native member of the mint family. This has the look of Monarda, just that flower and inflorescence. And then also we have opposite leaves and branches, and then the stem is kind of squarish. The bumblebees were really digging the Monarda. This tree is a non-native, commonly called the Chinese chestnut. Although its fruits superficially resemble the horse chestnut, which is another popular cultivar, it is in a completely different plant family. Several species of echinacea are growing here, and they were very popular with the butterflies.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have parked at that
Phase 3,
because I'm trying to get to.
phases 1 and 2.
It's just been nothing but downhill, which means I'm gonna have to end on a monster uphill to get back to my car. Razorback Ridge sounds fun. Well, this is a bummer. First problem with this bike. Just lost a screw here. Unfortunately, it's gonna make shifting gears. I'm gonna have to. I mean, it's not gonna fall off. It looks like, but at least I hope not. But I'm gonna have to be gentle with shifting gears. Thankfully, it's not the brake.
Quick thank you to Mojo Cycling in Bentonville for fixing this for me.
All right, we're gonna pass on the double black. You know, these are all good points, but I kind of feel like this one is just a filler to round out the sign. Isn't all mountain biking pretty much on uneven, unpredictable trail surfaces? Sticking with Razorback Ridge. Here's the hop horn beam.
This time of year, the shreddy bark and slender twigs are the traits that jump out for this tree.
Enough speed. All right, that shoot trail was fun. Ends right here, and I am going to go back to the Greenway and try to find one of the other phases of Slaughter Pen. There's your largemouth bass. See two of them. Small guys. Pretty sweet spot they got here though. Wow, I covered a lot of area in phase 2. Started off here and followed Razorback Ridge. And then that turned into Angus Chute. And now I just got back on the Greenway. And I'm gonna head up to this phase 1 section. Okay, Jesse's last stand, Armadillo's last stand, Tamagotchi, Tatamaguchi, Tatamagoosh, Tatamaguchi. Tatamagache. Tatamagache. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, man, my pedal kept grabbing onto that grate. Whew. Glad I had an out on the uphill side. Oh, man.
Bentonville, Arkansas seems like a wonderful place to live. Its city planning is focused on the natural setting and outdoor opportunities of the area. This trail that I'm taking back to my car is the Northwest Arkansas Razorback Regional Greenway, which connects Fayetteville to Bella Vista. It scoots past the impressive $450 million Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, which was funded by the Walmart fortune. It's a scenic multi-use path dotted with public art and sculptures. The mountain bike trails and the lush forests in this area have exceeded all of my expectations. I highly recommend a visit to anyone interested in these things.